guys, it's Ruby and welcome back to the YouTube channel, and today we have a very exciting vlog because we are in North Yorkshire at the prestigious Mount St John stud with Emma, who is the owner and founder, and we're going to have a little tour and figure out or learn what it's like to run a stud.
Welcome to Mount St John. So before we go out and see the horses, then I thought we'd just have a quick catch up here in the office, and if there's anything that you wanted to learn or ask about that's to do with the business or the breeding or the starting of the stud.
So obviously you don't have horsey parents. How did you even get started with the idea of wanting to run a stud?
Yeah, so I think most people know that I'm not from like a horse family, and it's quite unusual, especially in mainland Europe. A lot of the breeders are very traditional through multi-generation families that have bred for a long time, and I just always had this real passion for breeding from the horses that I had, and I was lucky that I had a couple of really good mares and ponies even when I was younger that were mares, and I just really liked the idea of those ones that I'd clicked so well with, then having their children and having similar traits, so that I could really sort of lean into those families and those lines and know more and more about them. And the more you ride them, the more you know the strengths and weaknesses, so then it's easier for choosing the stallions that match. And so it kind of started through just wanting to extend the lives, I suppose, of these lovely mares that I'd been lucky to come across.
Obviously you own the famous Mount St John Freestyle, who is #1 dressage horse in the world. How does that feel?
Yeah, it is quite incredible, and I think it's more than I dreamt we would ever obviously have. I think, you know, anything to be #1 is incredible. What's even more amazing is that she is actually the first foal that I bought, and so it's really hard because on one side it's amazing, but then on the other side I'd like to think we were getting better and better, but when you start at that sort of level, it's
hard to top that, isn't it?
And to maintain it. It's an incredible journey. She's been right up there with 2 different riders. I was very lucky to ride her myself as a young horse, and then again in between and have my Grand Prix with her. And so she's obviously a very, very special horse in my life, and always will be. But I would also love to still be a breeder and a horse owner that's known for having multiple different top horses. And so my next challenge and goal is to also have horses that are really competitive on the world stage that we've bred ourselves and raised here. Because although she was raised here, then we didn't get her till she was 6 months.
Yeah, definitely.
So very, very rewarding.
So as you can see, we've got the absolutely beautiful backdrop here. And Emma, please can we go see some foals, because I'm desperate.
Yeah, of course. We just need to head downstairs. Hey.
They just have such characters.
Yeah, they do. They really do, even from a young age. It's so funny. Hey.
It's like, oh yeah, you got the spot there. Keep going. Is that good? Oh my gosh.
Aww. One of the Diaz babies.
Oh my
the original mares that we had, and then this is her colt of the year.
Oh wow.
Hey. Good girl.
Very cute.
So this is a few hours old now. Crumble, come out of the way. Come on. Come over here.
She'll probably try and eat it,
yeah, she probably will. Sit. Wait. Crumble loves seeing the foals and everything. So obviously part of the deliveries, part of the birth, is the placenta, and it's a really important part.
Yeah.
It's where we can check the health of the foal before we even see it.
Yeah.
So apologies in advance, it could smell pretty bad.
It's okay.
And it looks awful, but it's really important.
Yeah.
So this is a foal that was born last night. So this is about a 12-hour-old placenta. So it's not optimum. It's already started, obviously, to be less fresh than it would have been.
Yeah.
But so when we're looking at the different parts here, then what we always want to do is check the placenta over for any holes.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to see that everything's intact.
Yeah.
And we can see no tears. We can see really consistent veins, colouring, everything. And then this is where the foal came out of.
Yeah.
So that's a very big hole, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And then we also need to see the same on the other side and make sure the other side wasn't hiding
She's scared of her own placenta.
any tears. And so at this point, I'm really happy with how all of this looks.
Yeah.
What you could see in an unhealthy placenta is a lot of changes in the colouring. So you might see really dark patches or really pale patches. It might be really thin and like papery in some bits and really thick and different texture in others. But this is really consistent throughout. This is the umbilical cord here.
Yeah.
So this is the cord that it was breathing through. That's where it snapped.
Yeah.
Underneath the foal. And then that's been her lifeline while she's been inside.
Yeah.
The last 10 months. One of the most common causes of death in a foal before it's born is that the cord is tied up on itself.
I see.
While the foal's rolling around in the placenta.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts off the supply.
Yeah.
Which is really sad, and there's nothing that can be done, but it unfortunately happens in all mammals.
Is that quite rare to happen, or would you say actually not?
No, sadly. It does happen in a few. And we always, if anything's lost before its due date, then we would always send them for a post-mortem, and the most common thing is just basically lack of supply through the umbilical.
Yeah.
And then this is just the sac that it would have been in. So all this bit here is what comes out, and that the foal is like covered in when it first is born. So the foal comes out in this sac, and then all of this part is normally still inside the mare.
Yes.
Now, if any of the placenta part doesn't come out, and it could be the size of a 50p piece, it could then start decomposing inside the mare within as little as 12 hours and cause sepsis for the mare.
Yeah.
So we could kill a mare that's had a normal, healthy birth by not ensuring that the entire placenta's out.
And how would you know that the entire placenta's out? Because of the tear?
So by this. So what I've looked for there is making sure there is no tear, no bit missing, that's even a small bit. If there was, we would have to call the vet, and within at least 10 hours they would be then doing uterine lavages to try and look and find anything that could be left inside.
And how long do you keep the placentas for?
We don't. Within a day.
Okay,
so this one is fine. It's totally happy. If there was then a complication with the foal today, the vet would definitely want to see that placenta.
Okay,
to know that me or whoever had checked it hadn't missed something.
Yeah.
But the foal is fine. I'm really happy with the foal. So unless something drastically changed in the next few hours, this placenta will be binned.
Yeah.
And then it's fine.
Yeah.
But that's not a glamorous job, but
it's definitely
an
a job which needs to be well done.
And today was the chance of it.
Yeah.
And here's the main stocks. This is where we do all of the scanning and the inseminations, especially any frozen semen.
Yeah.
And any of the transfers all happen here. So even though this is up at the top, this is where any of the foaling mares would be. Then any of the brood mares to be inseminated would come in here.
Yeah.
Any of the sport horses, if they're frozen semen, would come in here. If it's a flush of any horse, they would be here for having the lab and the vet room next door, and then all the transfers happen here.
Yeah.
The only ones that wouldn't be inseminated here are the chilled competition horses, and they can be inseminated down in their barn.
Okay.
And the chilled is much easier than the frozen semen, which is a lot less sort of stable and needs a lot more delicate handling from the lab side, because that's where it would be stored.
Yeah.
And then we don't want to be then defrosting it here and walking all the way down
Yeah.
there with it and letting it change temperatures and then have either too much temperature or too low if it's a cooler day, lighter day. And so that all happens here.
Yeah.
And then through here we've got the vet room. I've not checked this before, so it could be... yeah, and it is a mess because this is the end of the season. So this is our shipper. So this is what we transport the semen around in. That is frozen semen as it's coming and going. And then we've got, I need to get the key again, the lab.
What would you say your favourite stallion is to use at the minute?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it varies, it depends on the mare.
Yes, yeah.
And then in here we have the main part of the lab. Again, all ready for the end of season.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Tidy and clean up. So this is all of our storage frozen semen.
Yeah.
So this is different to the shipping frozen semen tank that's just what goes out for deliveries. And then these ones permanently stay here and we wouldn't transport them.
And how cold is it in those? Because obviously it's keeping them frozen,
It's liquid
isn't it?
nitrogen, which I think is minus 100 and something.
Oh, wow, yeah.
It's very cold.
Very cold.
So the liquid nitrogen is automatically topped up by an external company that come every month and service the tanks.
Yeah.
So these are permanently here. We've got a lot of tanks because there's a lot of frozen semen in there, and then we would split it out. And so if we've got a lot of semen from one horse that we want to store a lot from, for whatever reason, then we would split it in case there was ever a problem with one tank.
Yeah.
That it wouldn't be more than one that had a complication. And then here we've got the steriliser that we clean all the equipment with. This is the microscope for checking all of the semen quality. And so we can put the semen every time we inseminate onto a little slide and check the viability of it under the microscope. Then we've got here the embryo microscope. So this is the one that we would look for when we're searching for an embryo from a flush. So when we actually do a flush, we don't know if the mare is definitely pregnant because it's still microscopic.
Yeah.
Hence why we need the microscopes to look for the embryo. So we're hoping they're pregnant, and then we're looking for something under there. And then this is just the incubator for heating up all of the fluids. And so this is the fluid that would go into a mare for a flush, and it would depend on the mare's size and her uterus size as to how much fluid she gets in for the flush. But that's all warmed up there to body temperature, and then it means that we can so it's warmed up to body temperature, so all of the fluid going in isn't going to be a shock to the embryo.
Yeah.
What we wouldn't want to do is have something that's too warm or too cold that then could damage the embryo before we even got it out. And then we've got all of the semen records here. So any frozen semen that we use, we keep all of the straws, we record the dates, the motility of the semen, and then we've got the records of all of the semen that we've got in the different tanks, and then we've got it going back for the last couple of weeks or months of the season, and then as the season finishes off, then we'll wrap all that up and collate it all and do like a summary of the season, and then all of the equipment that the vets need for the flushes is all sterilised, kept in these individual wraps, and it would be a petri dish like this that we put the embryo into when we're searching in here. And they've got a very clever grid system on, so you can count the squares where you've been and looked, because you're looking for something that could fit into just one of those squares. You want to make sure you've had a process of going across and seeing all of the different ones.
It's like attention to detail in everything, isn't it?
And then this is the cleaning process. So once we find an embryo, which we may not do, then it goes into 4 different solutions to be cleaned before it's individually loaded into a into an individual straw and prepared for the insemination into the next mare. Now the tubing is like this, so this tube would attach to the fluids that's gone into the mare, and then the fluids would have the cup, the filter cup, attached to the fluids. Once we put the fluid into the mare, we filled the mare, then we run it out through this filter cup, and it literally comes out of this bottom tube into a bucket actually.
Yeah.
And then what we save in here is hopefully got the embryo in.
Yeah.
And then this cup is what's tipped into the Petri dish. What's left in the cup gets tipped into the Petri dish, and then we search for that.
Yeah, yeah.
The indoor arena, and we thought while you're here, why not Ruby have a little ride? So this is one of our 5-year-olds. This is actually one of the only boys that we have. So this is a gelding that's 5-year-old Jameson Donegal from one of our best Donegal mares. So have a nice ride.
So I've just had the best ride on Joseph, also known as Joey. I really liked him sensitivity-wise. I was able to ride him a lot off my seat, which I really enjoyed. He had a massive walk, really lovely closed trot, which I really liked. Really easy sideways, and his canter was like an airplane. Then we just worked on allowing him forward. But yeah, he's got big canter control within himself. Thank you so much for letting me come.
No, thank you for riding so nicely. It's lovely to see. And it's always nice, I think, like for me, obviously we've seen the full thing today from something born only a few hours ago all the way through. And I think like watching them all grow up and develop and then go on to be nice riding horses, which obviously is what we're aiming for, and then seeing them not only with the regular riders but also with somebody that's never met them before, you know, and just going together so nicely and things. I think for me that's also really rewarding and just lovely to watch nice riders and see the babies all growing up and turning into what we know that they can be.
Thank you.
So now we'll go down into the competition barn, we'll head back down. So this is where we keep all of the riding horses, and so they stay quite separate to the brood mares and the foals, and so there's no contamination or crossover from the horses that are going out to all the competitions and meeting lots of other horses in the stabling and shared areas. And so yeah, this is where all of the sport horses live. And Joey is the only boy in here, the rest are all mares.
Oh, bless him.
So he is the man of the stable.
He's like my dad, who's always around the female dressage riders.
Good boy.
Oh, long way down. Emma, thank you so much for letting us come. And you know, just letting me sit on a few of your beautiful horses, seeing the whole yard. I mean, it literally is another world, and it's so interesting to see where it all starts with the horses, you know. And yeah, I've absolutely loved it, and thank you so much.
No worries, thank you so much for coming. It's always lovely to see you both, and yeah. Good luck with all of your plans as well and all your riding. It's always lovely to follow you.
Thank you so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog. And if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye.